Hello, everyone. We did promise it's going to be exciting. Last week we had a program with Caroline Brand on personal branding, and today we are so privileged to have a renowned coach who is going to help us with confidence building. I believe we are all ready and it's going to be exciting. Just hold on and listen to this educative, insightful program. I would call on our chapter ambassador, Lavina Sandra Achu, to give us some brief intro about women in Tech Ghana. Hello, Lavina. Hello, Lavina. Lavina, are you with us?
Yawa.
Lavina.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Hello. It's good to
Yeah,
have
hello.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so we would want to hear from you for Women in Tech Ghana.
Okay, thank you very much, Elizabeth. Thank you everyone for joining. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. We are so happy to have you on, and we believe you are going to have a wonderful journey with us today as we explore how we can build confidence as women and as girls to take the lead and take positions at our rightful places. My name is Luvina Sandra Achu. I am volunteering and representing the Ghana chapter as the chapter ambassador. I am here today to welcome you once again and thank you for joining. And I just want to tell you a few things about Women in Tech and what the Ghana chapter stands for as well. So Women in Tech is a nonprofit organization. It's also a social enterprise. We believe in empowering women. We believe in empowering girls. We believe in giving them the confidence, the tools that they need to be able to represent wherever they find themselves and break barriers and even take up leadership positions. So we are a group, as I said, a nonprofit organization. Our headquarters is located in France, and Women in Tech was actually founded in the year 2018 by Ayumi Mo Aoki, a very powerful woman indeed. She's been able to gather about 60 countries across the globe who are all part of this organization, this community. We have about 250,000 members, and we are still growing, and we are welcoming everybody on board to also join us. So our mission is actually to empower women and girls in STEAM, but our target is to empower 5 million women and girls in STEAM. When I say STEAM, I'm talking about the sciences, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. We want to empower women and girls in these fields to be able to become empowered, to be able to take up positions, because in the past, women were known to just be known for the kitchen. They were supposed to take care of the children. This is our primary duty. This is our primary objective as women. But we've also found out that the woman is very powerful, very instrumental, and when given any opportunity, will be able to even make the best out of it. Give the woman a lemon, and the woman will make a lemonade out of it. So Women in Tech is actually a group that is ready to collaborate and work with all other groups to be able to empower women in the fields that I've mentioned, to be able to take up challenges, to break the barriers that limit us as women and empower us to be able to come out of our shells and do greater things across the globe. Okay, so we are in partnership with UN Women. We are in partnership with Edison Alliance. And our four core areas, our focal areas, we want to focus on education, we want to educate women, be able to ensure that everybody is educated to be able to become abreast with technology. We are also looking at mentorship. So we have a well-structured mentorship program on our website that everybody is um, encouraged to join. You can join as a mentor and mentor the younger ones who also want to be like us. And you can also join as a mentee to be able to also be mentored. We also have one of our focal areas is also in digital inclusion. We don't want anybody to be left behind, especially in Africa. So in Ghana, our core duty is to be able to ensure that everybody is digitally inclined. And the last area that we also focus on is advocacy. So the woman needs to have a voice, even in leadership positions. The woman needs to have a voice wherever they find themselves. When policies are being set, the woman's voice needs to be also added. So this is Women in Tech. And how are we going to do this? How are we going to achieve this 5 million targets? It's just as what we are doing now. We are so honored to have WOMENTUM partner with us to bring us this free course. It's a whole program that they have. And I know when Eunice comes on board, she's going to throw more light. So I call on all of us to support Women in Tech, support WOMENTUM, to be able to empower women and to be able to achieve the goals and objectives that we have set for ourselves. Thank you all for joining. I believe that you will not leave here the same. You are going to build the confidence that you need to have as a woman to be able to thrive wherever you find yourself. So thank you for joining, and I wish you a wonderful program. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, our chapter ambassador, Madame Luvina Achu. We want to get to know more of Momentum, so we'll call on Eunice, who will tell us everything we need to know about Momentum. Eunice, you're on. Eunice, you have to unmute yourself. You are muted.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I was already talking. Okay, welcome to this event. I just robbed myself a few minutes, but it's okay. Welcome to this event. This is the second one that we're having. The first was on personal branding and digital presence, and today we're going to address confidence building. I am Eunice Vloso. I am a Momentum woman. Momentum is this event is happening as a collaboration between women in tech Ghana and Momentum. And what is Momentum? Momentum is a project that already has legs, that is for women. Okay, it's the name comes from the junction of the word women and momentum. Women because momentum exists for women, and momentum because momentum exists to leverage, to create leverage in women. How we do create leverage, I forgot to say that this project, my mouth is a little dry. Sorry. This project is backed up by a company named Salesforce Catalyst, and We Momentum exists to empower women. How do we do that? We do that through a coaching program that is built to upskill women in soft skills that you can use in your work environment and in your personal relationships too. So I'm not going to mention all the topics of the coaching program, but I will ask you these questions, and just if you resonate with this, please just make a comment in the chat box. Have you ever felt like you just don't want to, you want to give up because it's way too much, it's too much responsibility, it's too much things to deal with, and you have this self-talk, inner talk in your mind saying you can't do this is not going to work out, this is all going down the drain, and the negative self-talk that doesn't help you, doesn't empower you, actually disempowers you. Because when you have a positive self-talk, your brain creates the best solution in the fastest way. We address this issue in our coaching program. Another situation that might happen is when you feel that your voice is just not heard. You have an opinion, you say something, you're in a working meeting and you say something, and it seems like everybody is ignoring you. Nobody is listening to you. Maybe because it's not the voice of a man talking. I don't know if that happened to me. So we also address these issues of speaking confidently, making statements, doing what you do, and trusting that you know what you're saying. It's all about confidence. And also, it might be something that you resonate with is that you put a lot of work in your work. You put a lot of work with your people, your family, your friends, and you feel that you are not valued. And most likely, you are not valued because you are not valuing yourself. So we address all these things in 7 topics of the coaching program that you will be able to use it for your own sake to grow, to grow in your best capabilities. Yes, and I would say that in our coaching program, I would invite you right now to join our group, LinkedIn group. It's WOMENTUM group. So that's created for, I'll be posting twice a week, and you can make questions, and there will always be someone to answer your questions. If you're feeling down, there will always be someone to support you, because that's what we do, women to support women. I guess my time is up. Now I become a Momentum woman because we're putting the link in the chat box. Please join the group, because as we grow, you grow, and we grow together, and just become a Momentum woman. I'm set for now. I'll be here listening and reading your opinions and your participation in the chat box. That's it. That's it for me now.
Thank you, Eunice. We're grateful. Just as Eunice said, last week we had personal branding with Caroline, and today we are going to have confidence building. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be so insightful, it's going to be so educative. It's going I think we would all stay and wait on this great coach. She is Patricia Abreu, and she is a power coach, yeah, at Salesforce Catalyst. She stands as a beacon of hope for women seeking to reclaim their authentic self. With her transformative coaching approach backed by Salesforce Catalyst, Patricia guides women on a journey to unlock the power of their femininity without succumbing to societal pressures. I present to you a renowned coach, very deep, and you will not want to miss her. Come on board and let's hear from Patricia Abreu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth, for that introduction. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being on and for having me at this fantastic event. I am so excited for today. And I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone that's connected right now, every single person that's willing and ready to receive today's session. It says a lot about who you are, the fact that you're opening up a space on a Sunday, wherever you are in the world, to be better, to become a better version of yourself, and to manifest that into reality in your life. Thank you to WOMENTUM, Salesforce Catalyst, Women in Tech Ghana. Steven, when you're ready for the presentation, I'm in Dominican Republic. For those of you that want to know a little bit about my background, I'm in Dominican Republic and I work with people all around the world. For me, it is a great inspiration to be able to be of service as a coach, as a teacher, for anyone that's ready to transform their life and really be able to hone in their authenticity, their gifts, their talents, their strengths, and not only become a better version of themselves, but also live a life that's more fulfilling, that's more aligned with what they want, with what you really want. And I feel like that's what we're going to be talking about today. Thank you, everyone. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so confidence building. We're unlocking your strengths today and embracing your power. And I'm going to start off by saying, like, I'm going to go in right away. There's no time to waste. I want every single person, if you're connected right now, to find something to write on. I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions. I'm going to be giving you a lot of tools, a lot of key insights that you might want to remember so that you can actually put it into practice in your everyday. Confidence building is not something that you can fake. Confidence building is something that you're going to be working on consciously and choosing every day consciously for the rest of your life if you really want to do this work. One of the things that I tell my coaching clients is that it's not overnight. We don't get results overnight. And so we need to remember this so that we can actually show up in that knowing that we are every day choosing to get closer to that version of ourselves that we want to be. So find something to write on, and let's go into it. And the first thing that I'm going to ask you is, what do you feel when you look at this word, confidence? What does that word mean to you? Does it feel expansive for you, or does it feel limiting? What is your emotional reaction? What is your mental reaction towards this word? And if you want to also share in the comments, I would love to read your comments and read what you guys are processing. It would be amazing. That way we can have kind of like a two-way conversation. What do you feel and what do you associate with the word confidence? And this is going to be really important because obviously this is what we're going to be working on today. Confidence, for you to be able to build it, to actually understand what it means for you and how it shows up and how you need to show up to be confident in you, we're going to be going into understanding the relationship that you have with yourself and how it all plays a part, because it is all connected. In today's session, by the end of this session, you will gain the tools to build your confidence every single day. You will own your uniqueness. You will identify anything that is limiting you, because if you're not aware of that, then you're not going to be able to discard it and reframe it and transform it. And you will be able to step into your power and choose that consciously, even if you don't feel your best. You're going to be aware of all of that. And I'm hoping that you guys are able to actually apply it, because if you do the work, if you decide to take everything that we're going to be working on today and talking about today, trust me that it will change your life, and it will change how you show up in your life. So let's start at the beginning. The foundation of who you are. We need to understand these two elements: self-esteem and confidence. Confidence is how you show up in the world, and you can either choose it consciously or not. Self-esteem, however, is how you see yourself. Has a lot more to do with the relationship that you have with yourself. And obviously, these two are intertwined. One affects the other, either positively or negatively, but they affect each other. And today, when we're talking about building confidence, I really don't want to have this conversation from a superficial perspective. I really want to have this conversation from a place of inner truth, authenticity, and alignment, because what I've realized and what I've learned through my own experience and with my coaching clients as well is that when you fake it, when you're trying to fake it till you make it, the results are not long lasting. And what I want you to take away from today is something that changes your life forever in the best of ways. And so that's why it is super important for you to understand the difference. And that's why we're going to be working a lot today on you realizing what is the relationship that you have with yourself and how you see yourself and how that can impact positively in your confidence building. Okay, so let's go to the next thing. Yes, I love this comment. Confidence is being sure of oneself and one's ability, which is exactly what I was saying, directly connected to your self-esteem and the perception of who you are. So I'm going to ask you right now, who are you? Who are you? If you were to define yourself, who are you? And I want you to define yourself in this moment. I want you to describe yourself using 3 to 5 words about who you are as a person. And you can do that in whatever way you want. How would you define and describe yourself in this moment? And if you want to share in the comments, I would love to read some of your comments as well. So feel free to share that. Who are you? We need to realize that who we are is a combination of our values, our preferences, our environment, and our choices. Especially if we are not consciously aware of who we are. Especially if we're not consciously choosing every single day to be a certain way, or to show up a certain way, or to do something in particular. What we value, consciously or subconsciously, is super important. Our preferences is part of the things that we decide that we want, that we prefer, that we enjoy more. And that's completely subjective. That's up to us. Our environment, and here I'm including your environment in terms of how you were raised, who you were raised, the community that you belong to, and everything that has to do with that external side that one way or another has affected and influenced who you are, your way of thinking, and your way of perceiving the world. And last but not least, you are defined by your choices. What have you decided in the past? What have you chosen in the past? Yes, it has influenced who you are in this present moment. And so here I want to take you into meeting that fine line between realizing and celebrating and honoring who you are in the present moment, thanks to everything that you've lived in the past, thanks to every single thing that you've experienced and how you've learned and how you've grown and how you've evolved, but also recognizing that in every moment that we live and that we find ourselves in, we can choose better. We always can choose better. We always can decide differently. And so it's not only about the choices that we've made in the past and the things that we've been exposed to in the past, but it's also about what we decide to do in this moment, who we decide to be in this moment, and how we decide to react and be in terms of that environment that surrounds us. I hope this is making sense for you and it's connecting. Please feel free to write in the comments what you're thinking, how you're perceiving this. I love that feedback and that communication with you guys. And so let's go into your self-esteem, directly into your self-esteem. How do you perceive yourself? And these are questions that you want to write down so that you can come back to them as many times as you need to. How do you perceive yourself? And I want you to connect it with that description that you used to describe yourself. Yeah, I'm a bold and goal getter by Ivy Saki. I love this. I love this. There's a lot of empowerment there. And so when I ask you, how do you perceive yourself? And here I want you guys to realize something. We're not going into a judgment. We're not deciding whether something is good or bad. We're just looking at ourselves with the curiosity to learn more about ourselves, okay? So how do you perceive yourself? Is that perception of yourself more positive or more negative? What's your inner dialogue like? When you're showing up for something, is that inner dialogue more positive or more negative? When you are facing a challenge in life, what do you tend to focus more on, the positive or the negative? And remember, no judgment. We are just observing and we're being curious about ourselves, about the inner workings of our brain, of our mind, of the relationship that we have in ourselves, and taking this as an opportunity to grow, to learn, to evolve with compassion, with recognition. Okay, we're learning. We're in a learning process. It might get a little bit uncomfortable inside, but it's okay. This is part of that growing. It determines and put in my best in whatever I'm tasked to do. I love that. I love that. So all of this goes into how you perceive yourself in your self-esteem. Now, confidence. How do you show up in life? We've been talking about how you feel and how you perceive yourself. Now let's talk about how you truly show up. What is that reaction that people get when they first meet you? When they get to see you doing something that you love, or maybe when they get to see you facing a challenge. How do you show up in life? And how do you feel when you're showing up? Do you feel expanded? Do you feel excited? Or do you feel limited? Do you feel fearful? I really want you guys to also think about and become aware of wherever you feel fear in this conversation. I want you guys to jot that down, okay? That is super important. Eunice, whenever there's a will, there is a way. Yes, that's 100% true. And you're coming up ahead on me because we're going there. We're going there. Confidence. Are you choosing it consciously or not? Is it part of who you are? Is it part of who you are to be confident? Or is it something that you need to work yourself up to? And it's completely okay if it's one or the other. I just want you to become aware. Remember, we're becoming aware of this layer of yourself. And what do you feel that you need to feel confident? Sometimes as women, we just need our hair to be looking nice. We need to be in a good outfit, maybe. We need to have a good makeup, whatever that is. What do you feel that you need to feel confident? Identify that. And it's going to look different for every single person in this world, okay? It's going to look different. So recognize that, honor that, and write that down so you can keep it in mind. Now, let's go into your inner dialogue. How do you speak to yourself? Going back to the previous slides. Yes, Eunice, exactly my point. Some days we have to call confidence in with intention. And this is the reason why we're looking at your inner dialogue. And another reason is because when we are facing challenges, when we are in a certain difficult situation in our personal lives, in our professional lives, whatever it may be, if we are emotionally triggered, it might be difficult for us to be able to choose and call confidence in with that intention that Eunice is commenting right now. And we need to learn how to become aware of that so that we can balance our strengths and our weaknesses in our favor, realizing that life happens. Not everything is going to be perfect. We're not always going to be feeling our best, right? So it's up to us to know the inner workings of who we are, the relationship that we have with ourselves, and be able to choose consciously so that we can always choose with intention who we want to be and how we want to show up. Doesn't matter what is happening in our lives. Doesn't matter how much fear we may have around a certain situation or a particular scenario, right? Maybe you are here because you want to be a fantastic professional in tech, and one day you dream about getting up on a stage in front of 5,000 people, but you maybe don't have the confidence yet to stand up on that stage. Or maybe it's just something that's not part of your personality to show yourself out there, but you really want to make an impact in the world. And so you kind of like have to build a bridge in front of that. So, and that's what we're doing today. We're really giving you guys the opportunity to build that bridge within yourself so you can show up in the world in the way that you want to show up, in a way that maybe you ever never dreamt that was possible for you. Okay. Juliet, can the way we relate with people affect their level of confidence? Of course. Of course. The way that and this is part of how you show up in the world. It has a lot to do with who we are, because here's the thing. Who we are with ourselves is going to directly impact how we treat other people. And so if we're feeling good about ourselves and we're feeling confident and we love ourselves and we have this positive dialogue within us, then that means that naturally we're going to be projecting that into the world. Our external reality is a projection of our inner reality. Okay? Oh, okay. Can the way we relate to people affect their level of confidence? Yes and no. And that's a fantastic question. Yes and no. Yes, because we can be a source of inspiration, of empowerment for people if we maybe let them know that they're doing a good job, if we give them words of affirmation, if we support them, if we're there for them. 100% yes, we can be a part of that confidence building for this person. Yes. However, it goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. If it's only external, if it's only superficial, it's going to be temporary. It's kind of like that instant gratification dose, right? And so what we're looking for today is something that's actually more long lasting for each and every one of us. We want to build a confidence from within. It's internal. It's not external. There's no one in this, when you're truly confident, there's no one in this world that can come in and tell me something about myself that's going to build me up more than if I do it for myself. Do you follow me here? And this is what we're looking for. Nobody can give you that validation that you're seeking within yourself. Ivy, I am compassionate and welcoming when people come into contact with me. I love that. I love that. And that is a reflection of the relationship that you have with yourself and with everyone else. And that is beautiful. That's absolutely what we want more of. So let's continue. Is there anything, I want to ask you this true question. Is there anything you would like to be different about yourself? And we have to be honest here, because here's the thing. We can be very empowering women. We can know who we are. We can be very, very in tune with what we're doing and inspired and all of these things and very clear about our goals and what we're doing. But we all have our moments. We all have these moments where we doubt, where we don't feel as good, where things are not going the way that we planned them out to be. And there's a moment that we forget all the positive things. We forget who we are because we are humans, and that is part of our human experience. And if there's anything that you would like for it to be different about yourself, about how you show up, about how you relate to yourself, whatever it is, what would it be and why? And I want you to write it down. Remember that I told you we're looking at these parts of yourself with curiosity. We're not looking at it in a place of judgment. We're trying to learn more about ourselves, identifying things that we can change and evolve and transform so that we can continue being the best version of ourselves and being the most confident. Okay, I'm going to leave you guys with that question. And here's the thing. It's what Eunice was commenting on earlier. It's just as easy to believe we're awesome as it is to believe we're giant sucking things. And this is a phrase that I love from a book that I absolutely love. If you haven't read it, I recommend it right now. You're a Badass by Jen Sincero. And if you have read it, go back and reread it, because it's always a book that kind of like puts me in the right track of what I want and remember my power and my path and what I came here to do. So I really recommend this book. This phrase also reminds me of that famous Henry Ford phrase that says, if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right. Because the mind is a powerful thing. And that is the number one reason why today I'm asking you to be 100% honest with yourself with the things that are more negative than positive. Because if we don't become aware consciously of our fears, of our shortcomings, of the things that we would like to change, of anything that may be hindering us, then we won't be able to look at it and decide consciously to transform it and reframe it. And I want you to become aware of that, okay? Again, because we are human beings, because we will have fear one way or another, because we will be facing challenges, because we will be in a place or a circumstance that wasn't ideal for us. And building confidence is also about being resilient. And this is something that I want you guys to understand. It is really connected. As self-esteem is connected to confidence, the same way confidence is connected to resiliency, okay? And now, that's what I was saying, we can choose better. From now on, we can choose better, but how do we start choosing better? This is a first step. What is our relationship with this word? Failure. And this is a big one for us women. Oh, there you go, Lizzie. Thank you. Thank you for being honest and sharing that with us. I feel like this is something that's very common for us women especially. So thank you. Write that down and hold on to that, because we're going to be reframing it in a couple of minutes. And let's go ahead, and I want you guys to do the same thing that you did with the word confidence, with the word failure. How do you feel when you look at this word? What emotions come out? What physical reaction comes out when you think about failure? Eunice, I love that. There is no failure, only feedback and learning. That might be your relationship to failure, which is amazing, but that's not the reality for all of us, right? Abigail, I love this. There are times some people make you feel less of yourself, and due to that, you fear moving on. How do you overcome such people and still move on with your full chest? I absolutely love that question, Abigail. And it has a lot to do with who you are. It has a lot to do with who you are and your awareness of who you are. I won't answer completely this question in this moment. Please remind me, let's come back to it, because my promise to you is that towards the end of this session, you're going to be able to answer that question for yourself. And if there's anything else that I can add on, then I will. I promise you that, okay? So we're going to come back to this question later on. Thank you for that amazing question. So if you're done writing how you feel and what your relationship with failure is, I want now for you to look at that and look at this. What do we believe to be true? A belief either limits you or expands you. I want you to create a list of the things that you believe to be true about life, about your career, about yourself, whatever it is. Create a list. And it could be as long as 10, 20, 30, 40, or it can be as short as 5. Obviously, we have limited time, but this is something that I want you guys to come back to and continue doing, because the human being and your relationship with yourself is like an onion. Every layer goes deeper and deeper and deeper. This is something that you're never going to be done with. This is something that you're going to be coming back, constantly revisiting. So I really want you guys to stay with everything that we're working on today, because doesn't matter how much work you do, you're always going to be coming back to this sort of work. Julia, does a person's looks and appearance play a key role in a person's level of confidence? Not necessarily. It varies. It varies because confidence has more to do with the relationship that you have with yourself. Okay? There's no piece of clothing that will ever alter your body chemically for you to feel more confident. Okay? It has more to do with your mind. Your confidence level has more to do with your mind, and that is why we're doing this work with your self-esteem, your relationship with yourself, your inner dialogue, and how you're choosing to show up in the world. Okay? So your beliefs, they can either limit you or expand you. Yes, Eunice, exactly. Yes. And that it connects directly to what we're doing right now with your beliefs. What do you believe about yourself? What's your inner dialogue like? And I want you guys to actually ask yourself this question. The first time that I got asked this question about my beliefs, and they had to do with beliefs about myself, I was struck. I was struck by lightning, and everything started changing with the relationship that I had with myself and my level of confidence of how I showed up. And the question was, who told you this to be true? Who told you that this that you think you're believing to be true? Who told you that it was true? Do you have proof that this is true? And I started going back in my brain. I was like, oh my gosh, like I may have evidence, but also it could be that because I believed it to be true, I manifested into evidence. But I don't feel like it's actually true. Because what you give power to in your mind makes a difference in your life. And so this is why we're becoming aware of what we believe to be true. Because if it's not expanding us, then it is hindering our progress, okay? Limiting beliefs are negative thoughts and convictions that you hold about yourself or about life that prevents you from achieving your full potential and pursuing your goals. So it is very important in this conversation for you guys to be aware of your limiting beliefs. All right? And remember that we're looking at this from a place of no judgments. We're looking at this from a place of curiosity, of learning more about ourselves. I am never going to get tired of repeating that, because it's very easy for us to go into that judgmental conversation, okay? These are some examples of limiting beliefs that we may have. If there's any that resonate with you, write it down, because we're going to be reframing it, okay? You cannot change something until you become aware of that something. If you don't change it, you're choosing it. It's as simple as that. And now I want you to, let's do this exercise. It's a really powerful exercise. I want you to think about a moment, an experience where you failed at something. An experience that you have a negative emotion with. That you look back and you feel some sort of shame, that you feel some sort of fear. Let's say, for example, Abigail, with your question, you say, there are times when people make you feel less of yourself. Okay, think back about that experience. What happened? What happened? What was the interaction? What were the circumstances? What was the context? And now I'm going to challenge you to look back at that situation. And I want you to look back at it objectively. I want you to take away the emotion, and I want you to look at the facts of the event. What took place? You showed up, you did X, Y, and Z, which for you, maybe it was the authentic approach. It was the honest approach. It was the best approach that you could have had. And then somebody came in and was judgmental towards you, gave you negative feedback, gave you a critique that didn't feel right with you. And now everything that you worked for was tumbled into pieces because of one person's opinion. And I want you to ask yourself, looking back at that situation right now, what do you consider to be true? Do you consider this person's opinion to be true in this example? More true than the truth that you brought in when you showed up in the first place? And if this person had this amount of power over you, ask yourself why. Why does the opinion of another person have more power over the opinion that I have of myself? Whether or not it is true. Why does this person feedback affect me as much as my own feedback and my own look of things? And this is why understanding who you are, what you value, what you stand for in life, what your preferences are, what your choices are consciously is so important. Because life, remember what I said earlier, life is a reflection of your internal. And we are here to evolve and to learn. We are always in a constant set of evolution and growth. So life is going to present us with situations that we're going to have to learn from, right? That is the natural part of that. And most of the time when we learn, we need to go through uncomfortableness. We need to fail. We need to go through some sort of uncomfortable emotion because we are learning, we are growing. We need to leave the things that we know to be comfortable for us and to evolve into that next thing, right? And so this is an opportunity for you to step into who you are. If you showed up for the situation, what made you make these decisions? Do you still stand by them? And this is something that I love talking about because I feel like we lack a lot of that backbone, valuable backbone in our society. We are so bombarded with all of these things in social media, the things that we should care about, the things, who we should be, how we should look, all of these things that can just like jumble our brain, that makes us disconnect with who we really are, makes us disconnect with ourselves, makes us disconnect from our uniqueness. And one of the things that I love telling my coaching clients is the following: every single person is as unique as your fingerprint, and we need your unique fingerprint in this world. But I'm going to tell you something. If you don't honor that unique fingerprint, and if you don't decide to show up with that uniqueness that makes you who you are, nobody else will be able to do it for you. And that is why it's important for you to know who you are so that you can face challenges in life and these uncomfortable situations and the negative feedback and negative backlash in life with grace and with resilience. Let's see, I want to look at some of the comments. When someone has all the confidence or trust that you can do it and you end up disappointed, it feels like a failure. Yes, for sure. Failure is part of me and my journey to make me grow into a better person by correcting that wrong. 100%, Ivy. That's exactly what we're talking about right now. And it's what I was going towards. Resilience is built through action. It's like a muscle. The same way you need to go to the gym to lift weights, the same way resilience is a muscle that we contract and expand within ourselves. And it is done by surpassing and overcoming every single challenge in our lives. I want to look at Julia. For me, I had to first fail maths and resist maths in my first degree level to brace up to overcome my phobia in mathematics. Yes, exactly. If you're not exposed to your fears, if you're not exposed to these uncomfortable things, then you're never going to actually be able to continue growing. And so this leads me to my next question. What makes you you? You already described yourself. You've already become aware of the conversation and your inner dialogue and how you perceive yourself to be. You already identified what makes you feel confident or more confident. Now I want you to bring all of this together home, and I want you to answer for yourself what makes you you. What makes you you? And I'm going to give you 30 seconds to define that and write that down for yourself. Remember, you are as unique as your own fingerprint, perfectly imperfect. And here we're going to go into this perfection. We've been talking about failure, we've been talking about confidence, and here's the thing: we cannot, as women, we cannot talk about confidence and self-esteem and showing up in the world and doing all of these things without realizing the relationship that we have with this word right here, perfection. I don't know why, but it is societal. It transcends cultures that us women feel the need to be perfect constantly. We feel this need to be perfect, to show up perfectly, to never fail. What some of you were talking about earlier, to always do things right off the bat, to always know everything, to be everything for everyone. But here's the thing: it is not human, it is not achievable, and it is not realistic. And it will not, by any means, it will make you feel whole. It will not be healthy for you. It will not bring you peace because it's always never going to be enough. And we need to come to terms with this. All right? Also, there's another side of the coin for this word in this session today, which is understanding and honoring and cherishing the perfectly imperfect thing that you are. The perfectly imperfect human, woman, professional, mother, person, daughter, sister, soul that you are, and showing up in that perfectly imperfect authenticity. For me, perfection is not about being pristine and being all white and perfect and having everything in 90 degrees angles. No. And never making mistakes. For me, perfect is being perfect in your authenticity of who you are, of what makes you you, of showing up in life like the unique fingerprint that you came here to be. And how does that translate? It will inevitably and inherently translate into confidence. You won't even have to think about it. You will just show up in life in confidence because you know who you are and you know what you stand for. And you know that as a human, you will make mistakes and you will not be afraid of those mistakes. You will not be afraid of that failure because you're looking at life from a perspective of growth and of realness and of authenticity and of openness and expansiveness, always looking to learn more, evolve more. Juliet, most people are scared of failing, so they would rather not start, which has led to people not growing in their various fields. 100%. And that is why we're having this conversation right now, because this world that we live in is not an easy world. We will inevitably be exposed to backlash, to feedback, to people not liking what we do, what we say, or who we are. But it is up to us to understand who we are and stand firm in the backbone of who we know that we are, in authenticity and from a place of love and alignment, in confidence. Doesn't matter what other people say, you continue to show up because that contrast is inevitable in this life. Women in Tech Ghana, yes, please highlight this comment. Perfection is being perfect in your authenticity and who you are. It's nothing more than that. Thank you. I'm loving these comments, these intersections. Thank you so much. And here is just a little bit more of what I was saying earlier. Also, there's this word pressure. I don't know about you guys, but for me as a woman in the past, I am a recovering perfectionist, and not ashamed of saying it because again, it's part of my truth. And I realized that when I had this like such a high standard for me being perfect, I was adding so much pressure within myself, and I was adding so much amount of pressure that it was hindering my progress more than it was expanding me into the best version of myself. And here it goes. it is directly correlated with the amount of pressure we put on ourselves, which over time hinders our progress and negatively affects our inner dialogue, our self-esteem, and hence our confidence and how we show up in life. It was bringing me down to pieces. I was able to like forget who I was for certain amounts of time because I was constantly building myself down because I wasn't perfect. And this also has a lot to do with our definition of failure and our definition of success. Why? Because we will always be comparing ourselves to some sort of invisible standard of what we believe for us to be perfect and successful and how we are showing up in the world right now. Okay, so I want you guys to understand that this contrast will always be present within us, but it's a matter of us becoming aware of what the contrast is and looking at it from a perspective of growth. Seeing the contrast as an opportunity to level up and grow, not as something that I need to be and I'm not showing up for, and therefore I need to, like punish myself for not being perfect enough or for not being successful enough, which is part of that rewiring of the inner dialogue that we have within ourselves. Okay. Juliet, what makes me unique is my ability to be real and not being ashamed about any part of my journey. Correct. And being okay with the decisions that you made in the past that may have been mistakes. Stand up on them. Grow from them. How can you make sure that you never repeat it in your life? How can you make sure that it was a worthwhile experience that you learned from, that you evolved from? Okay. These are some of the other things that limit us that we should be aware. Comparing ourselves, which as women we tend to do, it destroys our confidence when we compare our journeys and our evolution and our results and our success with other women's journeys. The expectations that we have for ourselves or externally that we receive, that we have from our community, from our society, whatever it may be, and the fear of judgment and rejection, which I feel that these are all things that is part of our human nature. It's just a matter of us being aware of that so that we can choose differently. Remember, this is all for you to have a place of power within yourself to choose differently, to be able to do that reframing. Okay. Now, what are 3 things that make you unique and valuable? I want to go into that positive side of the conversation. 3 things that make you unique and valuable. This is super important. For some of you, it may be difficult. For some of you, it may be super easy. But remember that everything that we're doing and that we're bringing up for today is not a one-time work, is not a one-time thing. It's something that I want you guys to come back to and continue to work on with yourself and for yourself, okay? What are 3 things that make you unique, that make you valuable? And what are the top 3 strengths that you can identify in yourself? These strengths can be things that you recognize within yourself, but it can also be things that people tell you. It can be things that people identify within you that maybe you still haven't identified as strongly within yourself, but that you would like to open up and identify more powerfully within yourself. I'll give you guys 30 seconds to write those down. 3 strengths you identify in yourself and 3 things that make you unique and valuable. And they can be one and the same, but for the sake of this exercise, try to challenge yourself and make them different. So in total, you should have 6 things. 6 positive things about yourself. And now I want you to think about a moment that you felt proud of yourself. A moment that you look back and you say, oh my gosh, like, I wish I could go back to that moment. Or this is a moment that I will always cherish and have in my heart. I love the way that I showed up in this situation. I love the way that I performed in this particular scenario. I love the way that whatever it was, a moment that you felt proud of yourself. And now I want you to write a power statement. And hopefully, as we tie everything together towards the end and we're coming home, I want you to think about and take into consideration for this power state, for this power statement, the things that you identified in the past that were your limiting beliefs. Okay. So try to connect it all so that you can reframe that experience where you thought that you failed, or those limiting beliefs that you thought were limiting you. How can you reframe that? Connecting with your strengths, connecting with who you know that you are, connecting with the things that make you unique, and turn it into a power statement. I love these comments that you guys brought in, honestly. And to finish, I want to leave you guys with this message. Confidence is built through action. You keep showing up, you keep learning, you keep owning your brilliance, you keep owning the uniqueness of who you are. You are as unique as your fingerprint. Remember that. You are powerful. You are enough. You are unstoppable. You are whatever you believe yourself to be. And if you believe yourself to be successful, influential, creative, whatever word you want to use to describe yourself, to define yourself, and then you shall be it. If you believe yourself to be capable of doing X, Y, and Z, then you will be capable of achieving X, Y, and Z. It is up to you to decide. So I want you guys to sit back and perceive everything that we've talked about today, and notice and realize how your inner dialogue, how your perception of yourself, how your relationship with yourself has a direct impact in the results that you manifest in your life and in how you show up. And if you don't feel good about a particular way that you're showing up in life, then apply these exercises that we did today and start doing that work of reframing it from a place of curiosity, from a place of love. Because we're always learning something. And it's okay. I love this quote by Maya Angelou. Says, when you know better, you do better. So now that you know better, when you identify something that you don't like about yourself, that you want to work on, or whatever it may be, now you can choose better. And the power in you lies in the choosing better now. And one last thing. No one and nothing is so small in this world. Every single thing, even a butterfly's wings, can flap here in DR, in Dominican Republic, and it can change the world all the way around to where you guys are in Ghana. That is the power of our presence. That is the power of our existence. That is the power of our minds and what we consciously choose to show up as, to do, to say. We have power. We're not exempt of the consequences of how we decide to show up, whether it's positive or negative. So make sure that you're choosing better every single time. Make sure that you're choosing consciously how you want to show up every single time. Okay? Yes, you are enough. You are powerful. If somebody came in, remember, go back to that limiting beliefs slide. If somebody came in and told you, maybe it was a teacher back when you were in school and told you you are not enough, you're not good enough. Who said that to be true? They said that to be true, but why is their opinion more important than your opinion? If you want evidence of yourself that you know that you are enough, then create it for yourself and stand powerfully on the belief that you are enough and create that evidence for yourself. And that is where your confidence will come from. You won't need to think about it when you've worked for it and you've done the inner transformation work for yourself. And remember, be resilient. Life is not always going to be perfect. I haven't always felt perfect to go up on a stage and talk in front of people, because I go through things and my life, I'm a human being. But because it's a muscle and I remember who I am, I can bring it back and I can stand up on my ground. Doesn't matter what is happening in my life and in my world. I can show up authentically because I know what I stand for and I know what I'm doing. and I know my job, and I show up with love, with grace. And that also has a lot to do with emotional maturity and resilience, okay? You are unstoppable. Thank you guys for everything. I'm going to leave you guys with this one question for yourself. What is one thing you will do differently to build your confidence from now on? Remember, it's a decision that you choose consciously every single day. And I want you guys to have my voice there every single day. How do you want to choose today? What do you want to choose for yourself today? Thank you. I am here as a coach if you want to continue working on this for yourself. And it's been my pleasure to be here. So we're gonna open up the Q&A now if you guys have any questions.
Wonderful presentation. Wonderful presentation, Patricia. Thank you so much. I know people have a lot of questions to ask you, and probably I'll have to be the first person to ask this. You know, you did say that confidence is how you show up in the world. And you also did say that you fake it, it will not last. Now, I'm showing up to the world, but I'm not showing the real thing. I don't know how to put these two together because I still want to show to the world I'm confident, yet I know I'm faking it. How do I bring it to the middle point? How do I manage both?
That is a fantastic question, Elizabeth, because it comes down into the reality of the practice in the every single day. So remember what I said. It's like going to the gym. It's a muscle that we work on every single day. So the more that you show up, the more you're going to strengthen that muscle. Over time, what does it do is that you're going to start creating evidence in your life, within yourself and outside of yourself, that will reflect back to you that level of confidence that you feel within yourself. Okay, and it's also a rewiring of the brain. That's why we went into the inner dialogue and your self-esteem and your perception of yourself, because you need to create the evidence within yourself that you are good enough. And with every small action that you do, it's just going to keep on getting better. And it's like, again, going to the gym. Sometimes it's going to be amazing. You're going to feel really good after the gym session. Some days it's not going to feel that good, but you are going to become stronger. And over time, you will see the results. It's not an overnight thing. That's why you can't fake it. If you're waiting for the results for next week, it's not going to be here. It's a month application. It's a lifetime application. So that's what kind of like needed in the middle.
Wow. Thank you so much, Patricia. Viewers, I did tell you that she is a great coach, and I know there is a lot of things you want to ask. She did mention a lot of things. She said, keep showing up, keep learning, own your brilliance. I believe you have a lot of things you want to find out from her. We are ready. I believe she is ready to take up the questions and answer you whatever you want. The coach is around. Please ask her. It is about confidence building, viewers.
Yes. I want to go back to, was it Abigail? Yes. Abigail's question. She said earlier, there are times when people make you feel less of yourself, and due to that, you fear moving on. How do you overcome such people and still move on with your full chest? I want to bring home with adding on another thing to this question, which is at the end of the day, we decide who we want to be and how we want to show up. And in my case, I've gone through a lot of things in life that have given me the opportunity to harden my heart and to not have trust in the world and to not have trust in myself. But every single time that I've gone through these situations, I've chosen consciously to stay warm in my heart, to continue to love, to continue to have hope, to continue to have faith. And so, even if I don't have the answers right now, even if I don't have the evidence right now, I choose to continue believing in something that something will come out of it. in showing up authentically, whatever that means for myself. People may not always agree with it, people may not like it, but I don't care, because it's a matter of who I choose to be, what I choose to do, because I am coming from a place of love. And that is very important. That you connect from a love, from a place of love. You should stick to that. Do not let the world harden you. Do not let the world limit you. Let challenge hinder your progress and who you're meant to become, okay? How can someone who is conscious about their flaws and weakness build confidence? So, let me
You know, Patricia, I did ask that I am annoying, and you said you would go back to me and
yes,
answer me. It looks like it's in line with this. You
yes,
know your flaws and weaknesses. How do you build confidence? I think
yes,
it's in line.
exactly. So it's exactly what I was gonna say right now. So
Exactly.
we went into these slides of our limiting beliefs and the things that we perceive of ourselves to be negative, to be our flaws, to be our weaknesses. And I want you guys to connect it directly to that perfection slide. Okay? We are perfectly imperfect. We are human beings. It is our human nature to not be perfect. Okay? But at the same time, we were made perfect. Divine source image, right? And here's the thing, as humans, we came here to evolve. Our soul is looking for that expansion, that evolution. If we know everything, there's nothing else for us to learn. If we have everything, if we can do everything, there will never be anything else for us to learn. If we do not have flaws, if we do not have weaknesses, there is always never going to be something for us to work on. And so, when you look at your flaws, when you look at your weaknesses, look at them from an opportunity. These are an opportunity. Remember to be curious about yourself, for you to learn more about yourself, and for you to build confidence. Your flaws and your weakness are the bridge for you to build confidence. Okay? Because when you look at it, you stop being uncomfortable with your shortcomings and you say, okay, I don't like how this looks. I want to create better. I want to do something better. How can I reframe this and now make it a strong point for myself and show up so that I can strengthen this muscle? Does that make sense?
It does make so much sense. Thank you so much, Patricia. I think there was a question in the. Can we bring it up?
Yeah, go ahead. And be compassionate towards yourself. Celebrate your strengths. Celebrate the things that you are, that make you you. Celebrate them. Stand upon them. Okay, you are unique. What makes you you? What makes you you? Yes, Eunice, thank you. If you're conscious about your flaws and your weaknesses, you're one step forward in improving on what you choose to improve. And I'm taking control and ownership of how you choose to show up in this world, how you choose to perform, to be the best version of yourself, and to exude that confidence naturally. Thank you guys for being here. This has been so amazing. I've loved this conversation, honestly. And your questions have been amazing.
Viewers, I believe you have heard it all from this wonderful coach, Patricia. We are so grateful to you. Thank you for coming to us and talking to us on confidence building. You have made it all open to us. You said we are unique as our finger points, and that is so deep. Thank you so much. And I believe everybody had a share of what you've brought on board. Next, we want to have Juliet, who will give us a brief of announcement from Women in Tech Ghana. Juliet, you on.
A very good evening to all of us. In fact, it has been an insightful moment once again. Please let's all pay attention for the following announcements and capture them appropriately on our itinerary. The Women in Tech Global Summit is scheduled to come off from 23rd to the 25th of April 2025 in Osaka, Japan. Volunteers should note that they will be the people catering for their accommodation and flight expenses. All volunteers are encouraged to register for this important global event. Again, all members are also informed about the upcoming Women in Tech Global Africa Summit, scheduled for the 12th of March 2025 under the theme Innovate for Impact, Creating a Sustainable Future Through Tech. All members who are interested in attending this summit should kindly contact our chapter ambassador, Mrs. Sandra Achu. All members who are also encouraged to join our sister group, WOMENTUM, on LinkedIn as a way of appreciating them for the insightful training sections they are rendering to us for free. Again, all members are informed of our upcoming community meetup scheduled to come off on Saturday, the 8th of March 2025 under the theme Balancing Work and Life, Family Life in Tech, in the tech industry. Let me take that again. Under the theme Balancing Work and Family Life in the Tech Industry. The venue is at the Tesano Sports Club. All members are encouraged to avail themselves for this important meetup, as it's going to be a very insightful one. Again, all members are also encouraged to like and share our flyers and our programs on our social media handles, and also help project the group by projecting most of our activities also on their social media handles. On this note, I would say a very big thank you for your attention, and do have a beautiful evening.
Thank you, Juliet. Patricia, any last words for your viewers?
Thank you, everyone. Again, thank you for opening your heart, your minds, your time, your energy. Remember that you are powerful. Remember that you are whatever you decide to be, that you have the power to change your reality, to change your life in every single way. And it all starts with who you choose to be with yourself first and then with the rest of the world. Connect with love, do everything with love, with hope, with faith, and be the change that you wish to see in the world, because it all begins with you. So choose yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Patricia, for such a wonderful presentation and a great topic on confidence building. I believe we've all been open up to it. It's been insightful, it's been impactful, it's been very educative, and I'm so grateful to you. I want to also thank our online viewers. You have been awesome. Thank you so much. Eunice, we are grateful for partnering with us on this program. We hope to come again with a very interesting topic. So don't you ever move from here. Very soon we'll be coming again with another interesting topic. Thank you so much. Bye bye to you all.